Well, my friends, okay, I know this has been an absolute bear of a time. I know I haven't released anything for over a year, but I promise you, this is Biggs going on the line, making a video. It's official. We're coming back bigger and better than ever. Now, you guys, if you're following the other channel, I urge you to go and check it out. If you like any of the other stuff that we've released, bugs, isopods, snakes, reptiles, any of that stuff, the plants, all the nature trips, or anything like that, as long as it's not fish, I urge you to go check out Realm Natura. You can find it under Realm Natura, so it's Realm and then spell nature, but instead of an E at the end, put an A, Realm Natura. And that is basically my secondary channel, but it's actually probably going to become the primary channel because that's the one that's going to have the biggest focus coming forward for the next little while. We're building an 800 square foot facility just on the side of my house, and it's pretty exceptional for me. I'm so excited. We're going to basically have our own zoo, and we are doing some incredible things in there. So if you are interested in that whatsoever, please go and follow me over there. This channel, however, is going back to its bones. It's going back to basics. It's going to be 100% based on fish and fish again. All the fish stuff that you love, the fish science, all that stuff, it's all coming back with the fury. Now, I got to tell you why and show you some of the things that are going on, because there's going to be some massive changes in this room and out there as well for the fish channel. So besides all the chaos that you guys are just getting a quick glimpse at here right now, you're just kind of seeing just little tidbits of stuff right now. There's Blister. Blister's still good. That's definitely not fish. Some of the lights are off already. Some stuff's empty and dry. We got a toad here. But when we go out in the other room, you can see the absolute chaos that I've been dealing with. And I've shown some of this on some of the channels a little bit. There's stuff here. My pool table is now a plant propagation area. We still have the one tank growing over here. This is all overfill tarantulas and so forth, and then all sorts of other types of plants and dart frogs and all sorts of other things. But you got an idea of the absolute chaos that's been in my basement for a while. And then we go into the reptile room, and it's just absolutely insane. Like, the stuff is just absolutely everywhere. And you guys don't even know about half the animals that are in this area, and I don't want to let you in on any of the secrets yet, because I haven't even introduced some of these animals on the other channel yet. But basically what's been transpiring is, because this overflow and this chaos and everything like that, I want my basement back. I want it back for fish, and I want it back for a big way. Now, some of you may remember, we got this whole space. This is a 12-foot wall, and it is 6 feet wide. And we were putting a door there. Now, that is still the plan. We still have the wood, we still have most of the epoxy, and we still have the glass for the big tank. And that's what this whole house, this whole basement was designed around this space. So that is coming back fast and furious. That is my plan probably. I'm looking at probably realistically by next winter that we will have this big tank in its place and operational. As they say, almost everything is here for it. But that means all this other stuff, all the stuff in there has to go. And that's all stuff that's going out into the other room, because this is the space for that big aquarium. And I've been wanting to do it, but it's just everything else just kind of took over. And this stuff here, as you guys know, when COVID hit us and the pandemic started, I just really had no alternatives. I just had to find other things to do. And that's how all that other stuff came about. But you guys don't even know about any of these things here. These are some critically endangered Madagascars. These are the pinstripe dambas. This is a group. And then there's some juveniles of them as well. And then there's some juveniles of Paratropolis kyneri, which is the calico dama, and that's some of the smaller ones there. So those three at the bottom there, they're a little more green without the patterning. Those are the Minorambo babies, which are the adults. And then the ones with the speckling, those ones there, those are the kyneri. And they stay a little bit smaller. And similar to their other ancient species, like the atropines from India, think of the big dambas as like your big green chromides, and then think of the smaller kyneri as more like the little orange chromide. And they live sympatrically. But you guys don't even know about this, but we're going to put together a video on those guys. We've got a whole tank full of some obscure characins there. That is the tank full of all the wild caught piranhas. You can kind of see a few of them there. And we've kind of switched gears. So right now I'm in a holding pattern that as soon as I can get those to my local wholesaler, everything is going to change in this room. This tank here has another group of probably the most critically endangered Madagascar species, the one that's almost completely gone from the hobby. and that is Peritropolis neurosati, the bright orange, the lamina. And I still have a group of 5 or 6 of those, but we're actually really, really lucky because in Canada, Jim Cummings, the world renowned for his skills with some of the Malagasy species, I believe he lost his original group of adults when they went outside for summer. And don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what's happened with Jim. And now he also now has a group of these guys growing up, as does Dana Allen, my dear friend that you guys have seen, the Corridors breeder over in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, has them as well. And then over here we still have our Congo tank. There's Blister up there in the corner. And sorry for all the reflections and stuff like that. I'm just shooting this with my phone quickly. And we still have a group of those highly cherished Steatocranus cassarius. We have some African characins. We've got some lizards here because there's no other spot. We've got a real cool group of the Lacorti, which is the rainbow emperor tetra. I still have my male beta macrostoma is in here. We did lose the female, pretty much just aged out. I have another big group of characins in here and some weird little West African dwarfs. Empty, some empty tanks. And then I have a really unique species down there. It's a Cares fish, and they definitely need a better tank than that. So, you guys remember the big plant wall? Remember the big plant wall we talked about? We started with the plant wall. It's coming back. I got my dear friend, just because everything's been so chaotic and I got so much stuff on the go, my dear friend Ray is going to finish that tank. And that tank in the plant wall, instead of it going over here, what was originally intended, what we're first going to do is we are going to take this tank, drop it down. We're going to take the sumps, my favorite type of filtering system. We're going to take it off the tank. I've already ordered the sumps. The sumps are going to go below. We're not going to have the same space below because I want all my tanks. Right now, this tank is sitting here at about my shoulder height, and I just don't enjoy it as much. My head height is here, and I want to have it in the viewing area where my head's going to be here. So these are all going to drop down, and then we're going to take that extra space that's at the back with all these plants that are almost dying, because nothing is running through the plant box. There's no water running through the plant box. And because I travel all the time, the plants are suffering. So a lot of these plants need to have water in them. So we're going to be dropping this tank right down. We're going to be moving it over 4 feet. We're going to be bringing that 4-foot tank and putting it up directly beside it to the right. And below that tank, the 120 gallon, which is the same footprint as that, is going to be these 2 tanks here. That's exactly a 4-foot span there. So they're going to fit directly below the 120. And then we're going to be dropping this tank down as well. We're going to tear that background out of it. That's why we need to have some space. That's why I haven't gotten rid of that big tub on the floor yet. And then basically, this space here is going to become a rack that's going to house 1, 2, and then it's going to house on the bottom 4 10-gallon tanks for rearing fry or whatever it ends up being. And there's 2 more tanks there. So that's basically going to be the 265s and the 10s. These tanks here, people may love them. I absolutely hate them. Absolutely hate them. It's not going to help me to sell them if people see the video of me telling you how much I hate them. But these flex tanks, the tanks are great, but why on earth they would make them bright white? I know all that, that appeals to the people that are big Apple fans and stuff like that, but bright white to me is just a horrible color to work with. And because they're rounded glass, they're horrible to see video on. They have horrible reflections. I just have all the room lights on right now just because I'm shooting this quick little video for you guys. But so those got a place, those got a place. These are going to go away. That's going to be those racks there. And then that means that tank there is going to be dropping down as well. And we're going to be planting the tank with plants growing out of it as well. So I want to have one tank that's going to be a fully planted tank to house all my characins. Like a nice, beautiful, fully planted aquarium. I miss the big, beautiful planted tanks, and I haven't been able to do one for a long time. So we're going to have a huge planted tank. That plant tank and the wall, the plant wall is going to go right there in the corner because it comes out and it's almost juts up there to that point there, the door frame. So it's going to fit perfectly in that corner. And the tank below it is about a 300-gallon tank. It's an odd dimension, but that's going to fit there as well. And that one I'm not certain what we're going to do. Maybe we'll do a blackwater habitat with that, something really cool. These are all things I've wanted to do for a while. So one's going to be a planted tank, And one, I'm not certain what I want. I have an idea of what I do want to do with the other one, but again, as I say, I've got to rip this whole background out. The background is still serving its point, and I could go and clean it all up, but as you can see, it's starting to get little areas that need repair from damage either from the fish, somebody like him, or damage just by moving things around in the tank and stuff. So I want to change that one up a bit anyways. And because we're always like changing and doing stuff and trying different projects and stuff, we're going to have some fun with it anyways. I got a really, really cool idea of what I want to do with one of them. But one of them is going to be a fully planted tank full of kerosins. The big Dambas are going to move down into the 120 because there's only the 5. There are 2 pair in there, and then there's 1 odd man out. And these guys you don't know anything about, so don't look at that. And then one of these tanks is staying those, and then the other one is going to become for the smaller Madagascar stuff. So the smaller juveniles we're going to keep. They're going to are going to go up there, and then those guys are going to move up as well. So basically we've accounted for 1, 2, 3, 4. All the 10-gallon tanks are going to move over, and then I'm going to have these 2 tanks here. So tentatively, Blister might end up in one of these tanks for a bit until we decide what's going to happen with that, but I'm not 100% certain. But lots of stuff's coming and going. So I see that's just kind of a quick and dirty. I know I say all sorts of stuff's happened. We did so many changes in this room before, but I'm really good at drawing stuff out on paper. And then when I go and actually execute it, build the stands, some aspects I don't like or I do like. And then when you build them, like I call the bunk beds, where you put a big tank, like 160, 180 gallon tank, one on top of each other, you end up with that big space in the middle. And that's in your viewing line, and that's where the lights are and your access to the tank and being able to put rocks and woods and things like that in it. So I want to cut down the number of tanks, but I want to do some really, really special and unique stuff. And for one of those, the idea I have is just like over the top. So once we do get that 300-gallon tank in there, that'll solve my problem. That'll give me that extra tank that I need. So Blister will only be in a home temporarily, in a smaller home. So pretty excited about it. Hope you guys are too. I really wanted to do this so I can start making, I probably have at least 50 or 60 videos to share with you guys. All that time I spent in Africa, there's so much cool stuff that's going to be on this channel as well as the other one. And I've gone to about probably 6 public aquariums. I've been to different public aquarium events around the country. So I've been traveling, I'm still doing stuff, and it makes it a bit more challenging to be able to get some of these projects done. But I can promise you, the Mad Aquarist is coming back. Fast and furious. There's so much stuff happening behind the scenes. You guys are going to be in shock. So until then, keep with me, my friends. It's coming. We'll see you soon.